Sometimes I think about is taking your own life ethical in certain aspects? Like, is there ever a time where it is like where people will be able to be like, okay, well, I could see that. Is it ever ethical to assist someone to take their own life? I feel like there's this, like, when you think about the lifespan and how people generally who pass away from a chronic illness, it becomes extremely painful in the last days. I have had the unfortunate Lord, I can't get the word. I've seen firsthand people who, how much pain they're in toward the end of their life. And I can't say that it's something, if I was in the same situation, if I would be able to put up with it either. It's, people don't really understand suffering to a level that makes life, that makes you feel like you're better off outside of your body. Whether it's physical pain from an illness or whether it is a mental illness, depression, it's still suffering. And to feel like someone should endure suffering for you, because see, we're all gonna leave here at some point anyway, and you're gonna be sad anyway, All of this came up today because I watched this YouTube documentary that I'm gonna link below, where this guy who was an acting teacher, I think, he basically wrote letters to all his friends and family and explained in detail that he was going to take his life. And I find stories like this so profound because this guy is like super logical. Like, you have to watch this documentary. But then it just got me thinking. I brought up this documentary because it got me thinking about how I feel about suicide, and I've shared some of these thoughts on my channel in previous videos, that I don't think suicide is all that crazy. Like, I think it's your mind's way of trying to end unbearable suffering. I want to know, how much unbearable suffering can a person take? Like, anybody that's like, oh, don't kill yourself, I want you to rate on a scale from 1 to 10. What is your threshold of psychological or physical pain to the point where you would want to end your own life? Really think about that. Really think about it. Imagine sitting in a torture chamber chair, and there's a button on the right that's red, that's for suffering, and the blue is for pleasure. Red pill, blue pill, get it? And you can hit this button as many times as you want. The pain release button. How much would you hit it? So I just feel like, as we evolve as species, we will begin to start seeing things with a more open, I've been saying for a while that, like, suicidal ideation is a spectrum. It's a spectrum. And just because you're having the thoughts doesn't mean you're going to do it. It's just like we have to understand that at the end of the day, people's lives are their own. And it does matter to show people love and that you care about them and that you're going to miss them. And, if they ever decided to depart, from what I've seen from that documentary, it helps a lot. But the main point I want people to understand is like, it's just not enough to suffer for. There is nothing here worth me. Like, when somebody is in insufferable pain, I'm talking about insufferable, what is worth to you hanging around for that pain? I just really, I have a mental health playlist. If you're new here and this is your first video that you're seeing of mine, hi. Subscribe. I'll be covering this topic more on my channel because it's something I struggle with in my life, and I'm at a place where I want to be as open and transparent about it as possible because I'm just like honestly tired of the more we hide and act like, there's not people walking around here that can't acclimate to a psychopathic system. Like, we gotta recognize everybody ain't beat for this. Some of these social contracts out here. So just think about that. Would you be mad at a family member that you could visibly see quality of life has declined significantly? Would you be angry at them for taking their own life? Like, there's legitimately websites that you could look up to end your life, like, painlessly. Now, I always think that this is really funny because, like, who did this, died, and came back and said, yeah, this is like the best way to get out of here. Like, just, but you can Google this, it's a little bit morbid, but it's just like, I do think people should have the choice. Like, I think it should be legalized. I think if people like this man in this documentary could present such logical arguments for why they ready to get out of here, what is their life? I mean, you can't make anybody want to be here. We all gotta carry our own selves here, and sometimes you just get fucking tired. I say in so many of my videos that I feel like I'm 150. And I know I shouldn't feel like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have a very high level of self-awareness, and I feel like I'm one of those people that, although I have a lot of dark, painful, just, things going on, that my self-awareness of those things is what is my saving grace. Everybody is not the same. Wash. I tangle my hair today. This shit. So, yeah, I think it should be legal. I think it's our own lives. It's the most personal thing we own. And then sometimes I really think to myself, what is the deal with people wanting to save people? Like, aside from the fact that they love them and they're going to miss them, like, outside of that, like, why is it why they lock you up and put you away when you threaten to take your own life? Like, why they lock you up, literally? Like, like, really think about, okay, well, I was about to say something a little silly. I'm gonna say it, but then maybe someone in the comments will help me understand. I'm trying to ask, how is, for example, me leaving here affecting you? Or why is it illegal? Like, not like, obviously you not being here is gonna affect people around you. What I'm trying to say is, why is it illegal? What is so bad? Like, it's their own lives, right? I don't know if I'm making sense, but like, anybody help me? Why is it illegal? I think it's illegal. I didn't mean illegal. I meant to say, why do they lock you up and put you away? You know? Well, I guess because sometimes, not all the times, people have rational, they're not, you know. Like, for example, for me, I know what my triggers are, and I know that, like, I know when I need assistance. I know when I need to feel grounded. I know when I need to reach out to a friend. I know when my thinking is crossing over into delusional world. Like, I know when it's crossing over to, maybe I just need to really just calm down, right? Because there's like never a middle ground for me. It's always either I'm suicidal or I'm just in bliss mode. The only thing, the middle of that is apathy. If I feel anything in between, it's just that I don't feel anything. So, like, when I get mad at some shit, I'm like really angry. So that's why I can appreciate this apathetic kind of a lackadaisical attitude. I think I added so many more syllables onto that word than was necessary, but things are going I'm hanging in there. Sometimes I really just have a hard time expressing honestly how I feel, and finding certain channels recently has really just helped me feel good. Like, there's this channel from the schizoaffective disorder, this guy who suffers from schizoaffective disorder. His name is Daniel. I'm gonna put his channel below too. He has inspired me so much, just like to not like share the truth. That's it. Like, that, honestly, that's the common thread. People want to either be entertained through fantasy, or they want the honest truth. People not here for, like, just be yourself, right? And so that's where I'm at. And I may, who knows what the future will bring, but right now I'm on 10 with self-care. I'm taking things one day at a time. The pandemic has been extremely stressful and triggering to me. I'm having a lot of anxiety, being on 1,000. I've been having that. Where like right now, I'm like, you can see what my feet are doing, my toes and my fingers. Like I'm always like, grinding my teeth and like biting my fucking nail. Like it's everything. I'm surprised they look as good as they do. I just had to cut them today because I don't want to ruin. Like it's like they were getting long, but I was just like a fucking mouse. I just, I'm noticing things that like my anxiety is on 100. And I just have to embrace it. It's on the spectrum of emotion. Right. It's on the spectrum of emotion. So I deal with it. And as best as I know how. This whole life is just very confusing. It just seems like it's a lot of suffering, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritually tormented. You're tormented, right? Can't pay your rent. You're tormented. You're poor. But then you have all the money in the world and you're tormented because you're lonely. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's what leaves me in this very gray, apathetic space, like in a very whatever space. Like I'm just overly stimulated here. I just want to wake up in the middle of the forest. Be surrounded by people that love me and who I love and find interesting. I want to basically live the way I was living this summer at that nudist retreat. If you haven't seen the video, I was my happiest. I couldn't be happier when I was at that retreat. I literally couldn't. I know somebody might say, oh, well, if someone gave you $10 million, you'll be happier. Well, the thing people fail to realize is that acquiring a lot of money or $1 million or whatever is increasing your wealth, but simultaneously it's amplifying everything in your life. It amplifies your happiness. It's going to amplify your sadness. It's going to amplify your loneliness. It's going to amplify all the insecurities you've ever had, ever. So, the happiness I'm talking about is actually not happiness, which is like a fleeting emotion. I felt things in that retreat that I have never felt in my life, which is this deep satisfaction and deep level of the joy was like arising out of my cells. It was like money is not going to do that for me. The shit I felt, money going to do other things for me that's going to allow me to have enjoyable experiences. X means external. It'll allow me to have amazing external experiences that will make me either happy or laugh or be adventurous or excited. Like that's a different, I'm talking about the shit I felt waking up in the middle of the forest, listening to a fucking river, swimming in the river, naked, walking barefoot in the fucking forest, listening to rain, dancing in the rain. Like, what? There's literally no fucking words. Money cannot give that to me. I know that. Yes, money will give me something, like I explained, experiences, but baby, I know what I need in this life. And until I get it, I'm bored. Fucking bored. I feel like I did everything I've done in my life. I feel like I've done it hundreds of times. I feel like I did this hundreds of times. I have a video on this already, but I'm gonna end this. Thanks for coming. Please subscribe and let me know what you think. This is a little dark, but I'm gonna start just sharing a lot, more of what's on my mind. So stick around. Uploading is just very, very not consistent. It's YouTube, like I said, something's going on with their uploading, and sometimes I just can't wait hours for a video to upload. So if you're seeing this video, it is through the grace of motherfucking God. Peace is New World Lord, and I'm out.